This is a walkthrough of what's included with Iselda, a rigged woman character for Blender and Vtubing. These are the two zip files that come with your purchase. Inside the Iselda Blender zip, there is a FAQ to get you started with your purchase. Inside the Iselda Blender folder, there are the two main Blender files, one with a GUI picker and one without. And inside the AutoRig Pro plugins folder are the plugins that you can install to use all the features of the rig. It will work for the most part without them, but to get all the features, you want to install these, so get those installed. And there is a CATS plugin, which is used to make the VRM file. And there's also a Iselda backup textures folder, which has all the textures used to make Iselda. Inside the Iselda VRM zip file, there is a VRM files for Vtubing, and inside there are 3 VRM files. It's Iselda in 3 different outfits. There's a long dress, a tank top, and a zip top. Iselda also comes with all the files you need to customize your VRM. So if you install this asset here in Unity, you can customize your outfits or your expressions and export your own VRM. And then all these files are what I use to make it. So there's a CATS plugin used to make the VRM in Blender. There's a UniVRM used to make the VRM file in Unity. And there are Blender files and FBX files that I use to make Iselda for Vtubing and their backup textures. So this is the first thing you'll see when you open up Iselda with the GUI. And so how it works is you can say pick a bone here on the GUI picker, and you can hit say G to move, and you can move her hand up, or you can pick her eyes and make her hit G again to make her look at you or something. So that's kind of fun. Over here you can click, let's see, so for the GUI picker you can scroll the mouse wheel to zoom in and out. You can hold shift and drag the middle mouse to move it around. So that's nice, and you can click second, turn on the secondary bones. These are useful, say if you want to make some limbs bend. You can turn it off like that. Note that if you just drag the middle mouse, it'll go all crazy and you'll lose it, so you can get it back by hitting the N panel, making sure the Cam UI is selected here, so you can go here and just type in Cam, and you can find Cam UI, and then hit the number pad 0 key, or go to View, Camera, and Active Camera, and it'll bring it back. So when the rig is in pose mode here, let's see, if it's in object mode, it's black. If you click it and go to pose mode, it turns green and yellow, so that's in pose mode. These will all be active, and so this here is the main layer. This has all the main bone controls. That's the same as this one here. This layer here, if you shift click, you can turn that on also. This is the same as the secondary layer, which has all the bendable bones and the extra bones for the cheek and chin. This layer here is the main controls for the hair. So you can click this. There's a chain of like 3 bones. If you click the bottom one, you can move the whole hair strand. If you do the middle, you can kind of bend it there. Same thing with the side hair or the dress, like that. And the earrings, they kind of bend a bit too. This next layer here is the detailed control for all these strands we just messed with. So for the hair, you could say make the very bottom kind of curl up, and the same thing for everything else. It's a more granular control. If you want to add some clothes to your rig, there's a little glitch to it. So let me just show you this really quickly. So let's hide this dress. So this sweatshirt comes with the file. But I made this to show you how to rig it really quickly. It'll come rigged, but I'm going to delete this now so you can see how to do it. And delete all groups. Okay, so If you have some new clothes you want to add to your rig, you can drop it in, sculpt it in place, grab your sweatshirt, shift click your rig, Control P to parent, and go automatic deform with empty groups. So this adds all the bone groups for all the bones in this rig, which is good. However, the bones that we created for the hair and the earrings and the dress, sometimes they can mess up how this rig deforms. It's pretty good, but sometimes it screws things up. So I found it useful to delete those bone groups. So if you click your new sweatshirt and go through this list of vertex groups and delete everything with the word spline in it, that's good. Make sure you don't delete the things with the word spine. So right here. So see, spline, you want to delete these. Spine, you do not want to delete that because that's the bones for her actual spine, and the sweatshirt will need that to deform properly. So that's just a nuance about that. And also when you are weight painting, you want to use this layer for your weight painting. Iselda comes with a few outfits. In the outliner, you can toggle them on or off. So she has a long dress, a zip top dress, and an underwear. And you can toggle these by clicking this checkbox here and turning that one off there. So this is her long dress. And within each outfit, there are options. So for the long dress, you can say turn off the necklace and turn on the collar and cuffs, and it changes how it looks. You can also do the same for the zip top dress. So the zip top dress, so this has, there's only one top, but I have two different types of textures for it. And I just put it in two collections just to make it easier to toggle. So one top has a kind of a knit texture, and the other top has more of a cloth texture. So there's two different collections just to make it easier to toggle. Then there's an underwear outfit with a top and bottom. There's shoes and earrings, and the extras is that orange sweatshirt. Most of the meshes have a sub-D modifier, so it looks good in the 3D viewport, but it can be slower for weaker computers. If you have that problem, or if you're doing lots of animations and you want some speed, just turn it off. It looks boxy, but it'll render fine. And for the rig, there's a lot of, this rig is made by the plugin called AutoRig Pro. It's a great plugin, it's easy to use, and it has lots of features to it. And so click around some of the bones and click on tools, and you can see what options they have. So for example, if you click the eyes here, and so right now eye target is on. So if you move this, the eyes follow it. If eye target is off, the eyes always stay straight forward. For the hands, you can switch IK, FK. So you can click this button here and it switches it to FK. So you have to rotate the parts of the arm to move the arm. Or you can go to IK, which I like more, where you just grab the hand and just move the whole arm. Or it's got things like finger grasp, where you can just grab this and rotate that and the whole hand moves. Or there's an elbow pinning, which is pretty cool. So you can click that and then move the hand and the elbow stays in place. So there's a lot of really good features for this rig. Just click around the different bones and see what options there are. Iselda has two methods of facial expressions. One is a pose library, which uses bones. The other is a shape keys library, which uses deformations to the mesh. So I'll show you how both of those work. First of all, we'll show the pose library. So say if I want to make her pose, make sure she's, if I want to make her smile, make sure she's in pose mode. Let's turn on the primary and secondary layers by shift clicking. And let's grab all the bones around her mouth. And then let's go to the object data properties here, click this little man guy, and then open the pose library here. And these are all the expressions, the pre-made expressions. So we have some visemes for some simple visemes for talking, and then there's simple visemes for poses. So let's make her smile with her mouth closed. Oh, she's happy. Or let's make her smile and bite her lip. Oh, she's like laughing at somebody. So it's a fun way to just, you know, quickly make some poses. There's poses for the eyes or the eyebrows also. So let's put her back. Okay, so this is how the shape keys work. So the shape keys, if you grab the mesh here and go to Object Data Properties, this green triangle, and then open the shape keys here. These are all the shape keys, and they're basically the same poses as the pose library. But how they work is, say if you grabbed, you know, smile open, and then you drag this to 1, it makes her smile. Or if you know, smile closed, it makes her smile with her mouth closed. So it's the same poses, it just works by deforming the mesh. The same shape keys for the body are also on the eyelashes. So if you wanted to close the eyes, you'd have to close it on the eyelashes and on the body, like that. The reason why it's separated is because in cycles with subsurface scattering, I notice it doesn't look as good. So when you separate it, it looks better. So I have them separated. You shouldn't need these shape keys when you're in Blender, but if you export to another program, these shape keys are useful. So what you can do is grab your eyelashes, grab your body mesh, hit Ctrl J to join it, and then export. And then your other program will be able to use these shape keys, and you don't have to go through the trouble of changing the shape keys for both the body and the eyelashes. So I hope that made sense. If we go to our shading workspace, we can look at the texture options here. So most of the objects have color options. I think they all do. So if you grab any one of the meshes here and say, look at the materials, so go to the material properties and look at what materials they have. So right here we have a skin or tongue, and we have a main skin. So I want to see what we have for the main skin here. And so you'll see most of these have a grouped set of different textures, and these can be changed. So for here, you can see that this is very dark makeup, and this is very dark makeup and red lips. So you can grab the color node to this color 1 here. You can see her lips get darker. This here is light makeup. So if you bring this to 2, it's very light makeup, which is right here. If you drag this to the other side, it's very dark makeup, which is this first one here. So you have some level of control. And so there's a few different types of makeup you can adjust from. Same thing for the clothing. You can see here, you can just drag, you can read the descriptions here to see what color it is and just drag it to the base color and you'll see the colors change. The hair is a little bit trickier. So for the hair uses 6 total textures and they're all basically the same. This pink is the main hair. This pink fade is for the hair that turns pink. This hair cap is a more solid hair texture for the hair cap, so it's more opaque. This pink solid here is to make the hair look more solid, and this cutout, these 2 cutouts, are for if you're exporting to another program, then these materials are nice because it's another way to make things opaque. So say if you wanted to make this hair a different color, you can grab any one of these hairs and they all have all the same materials plugged into it. And so it works the same way the skin does. This color 2 is always set to this material here, which is a black color. So if you just drag that, it turns black, it turns dark. And these here are the different color options. So let's see here. If we go to the main pink color and turn this to 0, which it is, it's completely blonde pink. And if you drag it the other way, it's all black. And you can see this pink texture here only applies to some of the hairs, not all of them. So to make all the hair black, you would have to go through each of these and drag that to black. Oops. Like that, and like that, and like that. So now all the hairs are black. Or you could do the same thing. You could make this go back to blonde, and then grab, this is a pink blonde here, and this upper left one is more of a standard blonde. So you can drag, oh, that's the pink blonde. This one here is a standard blonde. So you can, that's a dark, okay, let's go with dark brown. So you can make it dark brown. So you can drag dark brown on all of them. Like that. And then drag this to 0 to make it choose the brown instead of the black. And she's got brown hair now. So that's how that works. And most of the items all have color options very similar to that. To customize your own VRM, start a new Unity project, go to Assets and Import Custom Package. And then navigate to where the Iselda 044 VRM Unity package is and open that. It'll take some time to load. Click All when this window pops up and Import. Just click this reload button here when that menu pops up. Click on Assets here and double click on this Iselda VRM scene here. You can hide this one. This is the only one you'll need. So to change the clothing, you can go over here and say, for example, you can, turn on this other dress top like that, and then hide the old one. You can do the same thing for the skirt. You can turn on the long skirt and hide the short skirt. Oh, there. You can also change the materials. So you can grab the dress and then go to this materials here and find the corresponding material. This one here, and you can click on. These are VRM materials, so they're set up to be kind of cartoony. You can change this to whatever you want, but if you're VRMing, it kind of works good. And so you can pick one of the other materials. Say you want it red, then she's got a red dress. You can also customize the expressions. So if you click on the main character here and then scroll down to blend shapes, click that. These are our blend shape clips. So there's an and an E shape and a fun shape. So if you want to change what her sad face looks like, just click that here, or you can make a new one and then open up the body and change how her sad face looks. Maybe she's an angry sad person. So when you have all your clips set up the way you want them to be and your outfit is the way you want it to be, click your main rig here, go to VRM, UniVRM, and export humanoid, and then you can save it as whatever you want, and you have your new VRM ready to VTube. That's it for our walkthrough. I hope that gives you a nice jumpstart to using Iselda, and I hope she's as fun to work with as she was to make. Thanks.